morning. Thanks for joining us. I'm Scott Hurst. Just a day after Canada was given a pause on tariffs for most sectors, now there's a new threat from the U.S. president. He's taking aim at our dairy and lumber over what he calls unfair treatment from those Canadian industries and threatening a new round of tariffs. Here's what he had to say.
That's not going to happen anymore. They'll be met with the exact same tariff unless they drop it. And that's what reciprocal means. And we may do it as early as today, or we'll wait till Monday or Tuesday. But that's what we're going to do. We're going to charge the same thing. It's not fair. Never has been fair. And they've treated our farmers badly.
Okay, for more, let's bring in CTV News U.S. political analyst Eric Ham. Eric, thanks so much for joining us. What do you make of what we just heard from the U.S. president and his comments about dairy and lumber here in Canada, and even threatening new tariffs potentially as early as today on those industries?
Yeah, it never gets old. It's like 1 minute there's a reprieve, and then the next minute it just seems like this thing just starts right back up again. It's like a bad horror movie. And I think what we're seeing here is this is going to be a feud that's going to continue to play out. And now what's also interesting about this is that now that we see that Prime Minister Trudeau has actually made his swan song and exited the stage, we're seeing that Donald Trump is continuing to move forward. Now, perhaps this is a result of Ottawa actually saying that they will keep the tariffs in place for 3 U.S. states, Michigan, Minnesota, and New York. But again, I think what we are seeing is this situation could escalate very quickly when, of course, we saw just yesterday Donald Trump actually blinked on these tariffs once again.
Now, Eric, I'm also curious how all of this is playing out in Republican states, as the host of retaliatory tariffs from Canada, many of them target those states specifically. What are you hearing from governors and business leaders who have industries in those states specifically?
Well, we know that a number of Republican lawmakers, in fact, including the Senate Majority Leader, Senator John Thune, was deeply concerned about the impact of these tariffs. Canada is the largest trading state with South Dakota, and we're talking about billions of dollars. And so there has been a growing concern about this. And we know that many of the governors have actually spoken about this. In fact, we also heard from Senator Rand Paul, who has talked about, we know, whiskey and bourbon from Kentucky has already been removed from the shelves throughout some Canadian provinces. And there has been just a massive, massive pushback on these tariffs. And of course, Donald Trump finally got the message when he saw the markets begin to tank. But again, clearly, this is just a debilitating economic situation that simply will not go away.
So we've seen it's kind of on again, off again. Is it possible to know how this will all play out? As we just mentioned just moments ago, we heard from the U.S. president threatening a whole new host of tariffs on specific Canadian industries.
That's right. But you know who has actually remained unscathed in all of this, and that is Mexico. We know Mexico had announced that they would actually implement tariffs on Sunday, but then that gave President Trump plenty of time to actually move away from the tariffs, and so nothing ever happened. Maybe what is required here is for someone to actually take the temperature of what's happening and actually stand down. But clearly what we're seeing here is President Trump has actually placed Canada in his crosshairs, and quite frankly, it's in an economic vice-grip, because Donald Trump has made clear, even before he took the oath of office, that he would attack Canada through economic warfare in an effort to try to get Canada to submit. He wants Canada to be a state. We've heard him say that, and we've seen a number of officials from the Trump White House actually say that as well. And so clearly, that's what Donald Trump is hoping for, and I think that's why we're going to see this particular trade war between the two nations actually continue, not dissipate.
Yeah, and we just heard a whole host of supports to the tune of billions of dollars for Canadian businesses and workers. CTV News U.S. political analyst Eric Ham, thanks so much for your time. Appreciate it.
Thank you.